So I say for Furina or get Neuvillette, a Hutao team. Well, Neuvillette is not very good in Hutao teams. I heard that in the CN community, some people are saying that Neuvillette is blatant power creep over other main DPS, and that it signals power creep is going to start in Genshin. What are my thoughts on this? I think, like, taking the statement at face value, that's just dumb. But there is something to be said about once Furina comes out. Because I think there is an argument to be made that him with Furina is stronger than it should be. I mean, it's something I talked about when we had leaks for him initially, right? I feel like this is a character that's well balanced around not having access to that many ways to buff his damage. And Furina gives him ways to buff his damage. And I feel like it kind of ruins the balance. That being said, I don't think that's what they're talking about. I'm pretty sure they're just talking about the fact that he has a really good C1 and R1. Which, like, yeah, that's true, but I personally don't really care much. Is there a reason to play Ayato over Neuvillette right now? I think the main thing that Ayato has over Neuvillette is that he has off-field app, right? I think I would probably consider him to be better in Nilo teams. Once we get some better Burgeon characters, I think Ayato might be able to find a niche there as well. But I do think it's a somewhat fair statement to say that Neuvillette is kind of just better Ayato. Does Neuvillette have the best C1 in the game? No. It's pretty good, but it's not game breaking. Who is the best C1? I don't know. Furina's not out, so no. That's actually a good question. I don't know. I think the best R1 is an easier answer. I think the biggest upgrade from an R1 is Key. Right? That one's pretty easy. C1, I'm not sure. Maybe you could make an argument that Neuvillette's C1 is the best. We got an HP sword now. Is we in the room with us right now? When it comes to the C1 R1 combo, though, it's very possible that Neuvillette has the best. It's probably between him and Hutao. But the thing about Hutao is Homa is very good, but High Refined Dragon's Bane is not that far behind, right? With Neuvillette, if you don't have his signature and you don't buy the battle pass, all you have is Prototype Amber. And that's a much bigger difference from the weapon. Although, to be fair, once Furina comes out, there might be an argument that you don't lose as much from Prototype Amber because the healing helps you gain more stocks. Dragon's Bane's kind of falls up because of how much damage Yelan, Kazuha, and Shim gives to Hutao. When you have C1, maybe, at C0, you're really telling me you're going to be playing Shimenawas with Yelan in a fucking VV Vape team? No rest to interruption on Shimenawa at C0? Knock yourself out, I guess. Have fun.
Hey Zajef, need a little bit of advice here. I am planning to get a grouper for my account, but I am not sure which more suitable for me between Venti or Kazuha. I mainly play Ioka Freeze, Keking Aggravate, or Yoimiya, Zhongli Overvape. I am planning to get
between the two, Kazuha tends to have more value for an account. I think, ideally, alright, considering the amount of Primogem income you get, it's very easy to get both, unless you're pulling for every character all the time. And I think it can be very nice to get both. Like, I use Venti a lot, albeit not that often in Abyss 12 in free-to-play. I mean, I'm talking about free-to-play players. Like, you They release enough characters that are not really all that great that it's very possible to get all the characters you actually want. Between the two, I'd probably generally recommend Kazuha. But like, I have Venti on my account, and I would not want to lose Venti on my account. Chat, imagine if this was how you get your drops for artifacts domain still. Dude, I remember fondly having like a stack of artifacts. Some being 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. And like, wanting to keep the suspense for which 5-star I got, and like taking the 3-star first, and then making sure that I wouldn't like spoil myself and trying to get every single other artifact before the 5-star, and then walking into the 5-star, and then it was dog shit, and I was like, oh mega lol.
You still.
Or it was good, and I was like, yo!
Balls.
It was so fun. Venti mains were public enemies. All they needed to do was make it so that you can't interact with other people's drops. That's all they needed to do.
Right.
But instead, they just removed the best feature in the game. And I think that's a shame, okay? I think that's a real shame.
To answer this if you don't feel like it. But how is Furina's Hydro app? Based on the leakers I see it's kinda slow. Is there something I'm missing? Does she have a lot of uptime?
The main thing with her Hydro app is, it's not that it's particularly slow, it's that it's not constant. Like the speed of the Hydro app, it's complicated. Let me Seahorse is once every 2 seconds. Or 1.5 seconds. Then Usher is what? And then Cabaletta. Usher 3.5 and Cabaletta 4.5? Is that it? 4? 4.3? Okay. But the thing is, the Seahorse and the Usher only apply every other hit. So, in reality, this is 3 and this is 7. Now, on the first hit, I don't know exactly
You still have a special
what
place
order
in
they
my
hit
heart.
in.
Cheryl Marin.
Like, on the initial hit. I think they hit very close together in time. But you basically end up with... 3... Wasn't it 1.5, 3, and 7? Maybe it is. I'm not sure what the intervals is. I asked you guys. If you guys are wrong, that's on you. Skill issue. I don't know what the interval exactly is. Yours is a 1.5, yeah, but it applies every other hit, so it's one application every 3 seconds. Intervals are random, they average to about 1.4, 3.6, and 4.2 according to my data. What the fuck? Ooh! Well... This is what your Hydro app looks like, right? Like, you get a hit at, like, 3, and then at 4, and then at 7, and like, overall, you get about one per, what, 1.4 seconds. But sometimes you have longer gaps of like almost 3 seconds, like here, right? Between, yeah, like this is actually 3 seconds. Because they have intervals that aren't really, they're intervals without a common denominator, basically. So you'll sometimes end up with gaps in your Hydro app. In other words, Furina cannot be used for solo Hydro if you need to maintain a Hydro aura. But she can be used to apply a decent amount of Hydro for Hydro triggers.